Columbia, South Carolina. It's women's college basketball, and today, a Thursday matinee as the South Carolina Gamecocks play host to the Charleston Southern Buccaneers in an in-state non-conference matchup. I'm Dave Weinstein alongside Amanda Poole. We'll be joined by Kate Crenshaw on the sidelines. This is the last game before Christmas break, and Amanda, both teams, they want to stay sharp.
Yeah, head coach Staley saying this week that today will be a mental test. If her players already have their minds home for the holidays, that's going to show on the court. So her goal for today is keeping the standard.
And that standard has been raised due to the play of Sanaya Fagan, who's been terrific of late, and she had a season high in points on Sunday.
Yeah, 14 points against USF. I mean, she's been the epitome of efficiency her last 3 games. 12 of 15, shooting 80% from the field. You can see her putting in work down there in the paint. In these last 3 games, 2 of which were against top 10 opponents. So her efficiency has been contagious as she's one of 4 players shooting over 60% from the field.
Meanwhile, the speedy Catherine Albin continues to lead the way for Charleston Southern.
I mean, talk about a player who's improved consistently through each year. An all-freshman season, then second-team Big South last year, and now preseason first-team Big South. She had 15 points versus SC State the last time out in just 15 minutes. It doesn't take her long to get going for Charleston Southern.
And it's been 63 straight wins at home for South Carolina, going for 64 today, Amanda.
Yeah, that's a streak that's 9th in the nation right now, so they want to keep that alive, and they've got a great home atmosphere to do it in.
Great crowd on hand here for a noon tip-off between the Gamecocks and the Buccaneers. Our officials today are Joseph Vasily, Felicia Grinter, and Kristen Bell. And the tip is won by Charleston Southern. The Buccaneers at 4-8 overall, averaging 51.6 points per game, shooting 33% from the floor, 26% from 3. Turnovers have been an issue this season for Charleston Southern. They try to keep that in check today against South Carolina. Albin, no good, an offensive rebound, and the putback no good for Jones. A third opportunity. And the Bucks don't score on that possession. South Carolina averaging 80.4 points per game. Pow feeds Fagan. And it's a turnover for the Gamecocks. They're shooting 47% from the field, 31% from 3. The starting lineup for the Charleston Southern Buccaneers: Madison Adamson, Sanaya Jones, Shemai Mohammed, Kaylin Ellis, and Catherine Albin.
A lot of experience on this Bucks team, especially in their starting 5.
There's a steal for Sanaya Fagan. And she converts off the glass.
We just hyped her up. It's only fitting that she's able to put up the first points for the Gamecocks. Efficiency comes with those easy buckets as well.
Double-digit points in 4 games this season, including 3 of her last 5 for Fagan.
That was against Duke and TCU, 2 ranked opponents.
And a tie-up on the floor, jump ball, possession arrow in favor of South Carolina. Raven Johnson runs the show for the Gamecocks. Your starting point guard out of Atlanta, Georgia, averaging 2.8 assists per game. Had a season-high 6 assists on Sunday against USF. Kitts fighting for the offensive rebound, and instead it's in the hands of Madison Adamson. Muhammad, an open look. Back iron, and a rebound for Bree Hall. Gamecocks look to push. Pow dribble back out. Kitts, she's short, and a rebound for Catherine Albin.
Slow to start for the Gamecocks. That's been kind of a storyline throughout these preseason non-conference games as well, trying to pick up the pace early on.
Ellis has been good for Charleston Southern behind the arc of late. Instead, it's Mohammed for 3. An offensive rebound for Sanaya Jones.
We got a shoe off.
Adamson's baseline jumper, she gets the bounce. So we're tied at 2 early on. South Carolina 10-1 on the season, including 4-0 here at home. Only loss on the road at UCLA. Charleston Southern 2-5 away from the Buck Dome. A whistle and a foul that's going to go against CSU, and I believe Catherine Albin.
Great
it is her first.
Great cut from Te-Hina Pow. It's not just about what she does with the ball, but it's that off-the-ball movement, staying active, cutting to the basket that gets her opportunities to get to the line.
Ellis, Albin, Jones all checking out for CSU. Pow hits the first. Tina had 10 points on Sunday against USF. Hits them both.
Pow 0 of 3 from the charity stripe before those two makes right there.
Well, now she's 2 for 5.
Yep.
Such a good shooter, doesn't get fouled often. Bailey for the Bucks. She's checked by Pow. 10 seconds for Muhammad. Pow with the steal. She intercepts the pass. Finds Kipps up ahead. Chloe Kitts. He's double teamed. Again, fights through 2 Buccaneers. Offensive rebound for Fagan, and she's fouled.
We'll see Kitts and Sanaya Fagan both take advantage of that mismatch down low. They just a little bit taller, a little bit lengthier, able to find position, seal off defenders. Great attempt by Kitts, but Fagan with the cleanup.
So the foul is on Adamson, her first. Fagan from the line where she's a 78% free throw shooter. As we mentioned in the open, coming off a season high 14 points against USF. Amanda talked about her efficiency, 7 for 10 from the field in that game. And her numbers are up each year. Most of her action coming off the bench the last few seasons, but starting this season, Amanda, she certainly looked the part.
Right, she's played multiple different roles throughout her years here, being a backup, being a bench spark, and now she's starting and stepping up into that producing role.
Shot no good for Adamson, and the rebound for Bree Hall. The Gamecocks lead 6-2. Fagan in the post. Rebound for Tiana Bailey, sophomore guard out of Newark, New Jersey. This is Nettles, dual sport athlete at CSU. Nichols runs out of room. CSU will reset. Five seconds for Bailey. Scoops one off the glass. Shot no good. Another whistle that will go against the Buccaneers. There's a look at Dawn Staley in her 17th season. Let's see what she's done. 7-time SEC Coach of the Year, a 3-time national champion. Amanda looking for a 4th this season.
And this group, such a different group than she's ever had before. She talks about it so much last year and this year, just younger, funnier players, more lighthearted players, a daycare that she calls it as well. So she's learning as she goes too, even though all these years of her coaching, she's got different teams, different players to work with.
Our Gamecocks have ranked in the AP Top 25 every week since December 10th, 2012. Just an outrageous stat. Consistently great. Adamson against Fagan. Off the mark. And now it's Fagan up ahead for South Carolina. Nice move, can't convert. Gamecocks will have another opportunity. It's Pow, in and out. And a whistle that will go against South Carolina. It brings us to immediate timeout with 4:39 left to go in the first. South Carolina leads Charleston Southern 6-2. Coach White is in her 4th season at CSU. Spent her previous 5 seasons at Auburn, where she was the interim head coach as well in 2020-21. Auburn advanced 2 NCAA tournaments while she was there. She helped land 2 top 25 recruiting classes. And Amanda, she's hoping to bring CSU to the tournament for the first time this season.
Yeah, I mean, last year with the Bucks, she was able to have her best year with the Bucks. 8-8 in conference play. That's the first time they were above 500 in conference play in over a decade, and they've got the highest preseason ranking since 2001. They're number 3 in the preseason. So she's talking about how it's more than just about basketball and getting better on the court, but also just changing the trajectory of this program.
And she's a great leader. She was a captain in her senior season while playing at Villanova, played with the Wildcats from 2003 to 2007. And she played against Dawn Staley's Temple teams. Dawn Staley coached against White while she was a player, so they have that Philly connection playing those Big 5 games.
And she said that when she was at Villanova, they normally beat Temple pretty consistently, and now that's not the case anymore.
Coach Staley certainly changed the culture at Temple and has done so here at South Carolina. Off the glass and in for Kashanti Nichols, a senior forward out of Pearl, Mississippi, averaging 7.4 points per game.
She's someone that comes off the bench, and there's a shift in the vibe on the court, according to Coach White.
And despite coming off the bench, Amanda, she's their 3rd leading scorer. So, to your point, she brings that production. Edwards is fouled. Joyce Edwards, the star freshman out of Camden, South Carolina. She had a season high in points on Sunday as well, 15 against USF.
Yeah, I've had the chance to watch her compete in high school at Camden, compete for state championships, soccer state championships, volleyball state championships. She does it all, and we can see that athleticism translate here at the college level.
Your South Carolina Player of the Year, Gatorade National Player of the Year. Sixth game in double digits this season on Sunday, those 15 points. She had double digits in her debut. 10 points against Michigan. There's an easy bucket for Elena Nettles. Nettles had 4 points and 4 rebounds in the win against South Carolina State on Tuesday. Edwards can't hit. And a rebound for Nettles, and the Bucks look to push. This is Albin, who goes coast to coast.
Coach White told us that Albin can do a down and back in 8 seconds. She's one of the fastest players on this team, and we just saw that speed on display.
They're 2nd in the Big South in scoring at 13.5 per game. Had a team high 15 points in only 15 minutes on Tuesday in that win against South Carolina State. Nettles and Albin in the backcourt, 2 outstanding athletes for the Buccaneers. This is Albin. And now Nettles. Bailey looking for a window of space. She finds it. The Bucks lead 10-8 early on here in the first quarter. Great start for Coach White and company.
Bucks getting a lot of second chance opportunities. South Carolina not doing their best job crashing the boards here.
It's knocked out of bounds. Let's take a look at a couple of the recent baskets for CSU. This is Nettles.
Just drops the shoulder, finds that lane, just beats Tessa Johnson one-on-one there. Dawn Staley can't be happy there. Great finish by Albin there.
Albin has double-digit points in 9 of 11 games this season. 2 20-point games.
Ooh.
Hoists the 3. She's short. And the rebound for Pow Pow. CSU gets back defensively. Tessa Johnson for 3. Off the mark. Adamson went down. A foul is going to be called on South Carolina.
Tessa Johnson's going to look to pick up the pace this time around. Her last time out in that game against USF, she was 0 for 3 from the field. And players always go through those ruts or go cold shooting, but Tessa can shoot the 3. It's just a matter of when.
Tessa's a 50% three-point shooter. Of course, led South Carolina with the career-high 19 points in the national title game last season against Iowa. Did so as a freshman. Muhammad, that's good.
Muhammad shooting 26% from behind the arc heading into this game and drains one a couple feet back.
Coming off a 9-point game on Tuesday at South Carolina State. Maddie McDaniel in the paint.
Dave, you know what they call her? They call her Mighty Mouse, and just because of that, she's small, but she can get in there, penetrates in the key, and able to finish. Such finesse at the rim, despite being a freshman.
Very talented freshman, Maddie McDaniel, out of Maryland. And a travel is going to be called on Madison Adamson.
Take a look at these last few buckets. This one, Muhammad, a couple feet from that three-point line, but when it's front and center like that, you're lined up. She drains that one, and this is Mighty Mouse. Maddie McDaniel, the freshman, finishing in the paint there. Beautiful finesse.
Just seems to give South Carolina a boost, her energy, her effort, able to facilitate for her teammates and get in the paint.
And when she does get to the line, I mean, she's shooting 77% from the free throw line. So when she draws fouls like that, she's able to capitalize on those opportunities.
Known as a pass-first point guard, averaging 5.1 per game in her freshman season. You see her overall game, man, and you just know those numbers are going to continue to climb throughout her career here in Columbia.
Yeah, Dawn Staley can't say enough good things about her.
Adamson, a terrific pass to Bailey.
Great cut from Bailey, way to be active. See that backcourt, beats her one-on-one player, but awesome court vision there for the Bucks.
They lead 15-10. We approach the end of the first quarter. Bree Hall on the drive. She draws contact.
Take a look at this off-ball movement from the Bucks. Able to see the court despite the congestion in the paint there. Bailey beating Bree Hall to the bucket.
Bailey's their second leading scorer despite playing every game off the bench this season.
You know, Coach White tells us that she's got sort of an 8-woman rotation going right now, but she wants to get up to that 5 and 5 out. That 10-man rotation is what we see with South Carolina as well. When you just have a lot of bodies on the court, so your defense can apply pressure.
Rolls around the rim and does not go in for Bree Hall. She hits the second. 67% free throw shooter coming into today.
South Carolina trailing by 4 right now, largely due to just their inability to make some of these shots that they're getting. Only shooting 15% right now from the field to a 13.
Albin gets help from Ellis. There's no space for Kaylin Ellis, and we'll go the other way.
You think 0.2 seconds is long enough for a half-court buzzer beater here, Dave? With this team,
tough.
maybe anything's possible.
No chance at a shot for McDaniel, and that'll close out the first quarter here in Columbia. A good one for Charleston Southern. They lead the Gamecocks 15-11.
Climbing the ladder and cutting down the nets. It's something every team dreams of, but very few ever get the chance to actually do. When Clarice White took over the Charleston Southern program in 2021, the Buccaneers were picked to finish dead last in the Big South preseason poll in her first season. And she said a lot of people probably thought she was delusional when she sat her team down and talked to them in that first season about cutting down the nets and climbing the ladder. But she says it's a theme for her program that goes beyond just chasing a championship. She says everybody has a ladder in life. Whether you want to play professional basketball or become a doctor, a teacher, or even a mom, you can't skip steps, and you have to climb just a little bit higher each and every day. And so far in her 3 seasons at CSU, the Bucks have increased their win total every single season, and they've climbed from dead last in that first year up to 3rd in this year's Big South preseason poll. You see, it's not just Clarice White anymore that believes the Buccaneers have a chance to climb the ladder at the end of the season. Guys?
Thanks so much, Kate. It's been quite a climb for the Buccaneers. And that program ladder, and of course, degrees, leaders, champions. That's what's at the top. That's what they're hoping to accomplish
Yeah, I like that word, delusional, that Cade used, and that's also what Coach White used. She said, you know, I love that my players are buying into this crazy vision.
Hall for three. Gamecocks trail by 1. Hall's been shooting so well this season, 47% from behind the arc. Highest number in her career. Under 10 for Albin. Nettles has to get it up. The floater won't go, and a rebound for Sanaya Fagan.
Awesome job by Pow Pow to hedge that screen. Able to stay with her defender.
Pow Pow for 3. And there's Muhammad with the rebound for CSU. A whistle and a travel. It's going to be called on Catherine Albin. Another look at
Hall able to light up the floor from beyond the arc. First Gamecock to do so today. Experienced player who shows it this season.
Bria started every game this season and last after 71 games off the bench in her first 2 years. So important to this program. Arguably, I think, Amanda, the most underrated player on the roster.
She's one of those players sometimes where she's not all the way on the stat sheet all the time, but she does the anonymous things, the things that are more quiet, where she's a great on-ball defender. She's also a great vocal leader as well. She does the off-the-stat sheet things to keep this team together.
And a terrific defender. Bucks looking to add to a 1-point lead. Muhammad, check by Fagan. 5 seconds for Albin. The fall away, not close. But a second opportunity, that won't go. That's a shot clock violation.
Bucks having to go up against Adele Tack, the 6'5" center for South Carolina. And Dawn Staley telling us this week that Adele did so well with the highlighters, their male practice squad, that they gave her the nod this week to get some more play time. That's how you prove yourself. You play well with the practice team, and you earn minutes on the court.
It's her 8th game of the season. Talk about minutes. It's been limited minutes this season for Tack. Only a couple on Sunday against USF. Getting some minutes early on here in this one. Trying to get it to her in the post. Instead, they swing it around the perimeter. Daniel kicks it out to Hall. Bree Hall in the paint. In and out, but the putback is good for Sanaya Fagan.
Fagan sandwiched between 2 Bucks, but able to reach up, use her length and power, embracing that physicality to finish.
Fagan has 6. The Gamecocks have the lead, 16-15. Nichols baseline. And she's fouled by Tack.
Take a look at this paint production here from Fagan, who we've talked so much about this game so far. Very efficient, able to follow through, doesn't give up on the play if the ball's still up in the air. That foul, Adele coming down with her arms.
Nichols misses the first. She's now 7 for 10 on the season from the charity stripe. Electrifying, excuse me. Mylacia Fulwiley has checked in for South Carolina. Number 12 in white. Averaging 10.3 points per game. McDaniel, Fulwiley, Tack, Fagan, and Pow Pow. McDaniel connects.
Maddie McDaniel can not only facilitate with her amazing assist, but she can create on her own, taking that open shot, knowing she can finish.
She's got 4 points. Nichols, shot fake. Now it's Jones. Good-looking baseline jumper for Sanaya Jones, junior forward out of Tucker, Georgia. Won $2 to start every game this season. There's the lob to Fagan. The putback isn't there.
Fulwiley with an awesome lob there. She's a great facilitator as well. Fagan unable to finish, though.
Albin will draw the foul on the other end. Fans not pleased here inside Colonial Life Arena. We'll take another look.
Powell gets a hand in there. South Carolina bench not too happy about that call.
Nichols gets it into Bailey. Tough shot over Pow. Pass is stolen by Nichols. A turnover for South Carolina. Great defensive play made by the Gamecocks.
Amazing interception by Nichols, but gets shut down by Malaysia Fulwiley on the other end. Big block. She's listed as 6 foot on the roster, but she's got hops.
Raven Johnson checks back in for South Carolina. She replaces Te-Hina Pow. Ashlyn Watkins is in as well. Join Kitts, Daniel, and Fulwiley. Closer than expected. South Carolina leads Charleston Southern 19-18 here in the second quarter. Fulwiley steps back. Albin looking to push for the Bucks, finds an open Ellis.
Dave, there's a reason why they call her Ashlyn Watkins. She gets a hand in there even on the three-point shots.
And she converts on the offensive ends. Defense and offense from Ashlyn Watkins.
Yeah, look at her, a big post player coming down there, running the floor, able to get back down the court to finish on offense.
She's averaging 1.7 blocks per game. Second in the SEC in blocks per game a season ago behind her teammate Cardoso. There she is with the rebound.
Looks like Kashanti Nichols is a little injured, hobbling up the floor here.
Raven Johnson.
Nichols coming out.
Oh, we have a timeout here inside Colonial Life Arena. The rejection from Ashlyn Watkins, and then the finish on the offensive end. A nice feed from Malaysia Fulwiley. Timeout from Colonial Life Arena. South Carolina leads CSU 24-18. Charleston Southern has been hanging tough. They trail South Carolina 23-18. Let's talk about play balls. Coach Garcia and her close friends started a nonprofit some years ago, something that she's very passionate about. She said, one of my friends and I were sitting on a court recruiting. That was Melissa Graves, who's now the head coach at Boston University. They're passionate about doing missions work overseas, and they wanted to help facilitate that for athletes. There's a book called Love Does, and that's what BOLD stands for. Beyond Ourselves, Love Does. They started doing mission work, helping kids, orphanages, but it turned into building courts in Africa. It takes about $10,000 to a court to get it going. They've been able to plant courts in Cameroon, Zambia, Uganda, and they were going over there in person. And then once COVID hit, they weren't able to do that, so they found that they could build them remotely. They've been able to partner with ministries already on the ground, send money, support over, and they locally hire the workers, so they create jobs for the duration of that project in the area. The courts become so impactful because not only can the kids play on them, but they can also use them for fundraisers, like hosting tournaments, bringing cash flow to help sustain them. And she went over, Amanda, with her players from Auburn some years ago. They did camps, participated in the build, mixed cement and all that. But she'd like to go over again, possibly this year in May or August, get some of those CSU players overseas, because it's such a great way to give back and to have a global impact.
Yeah, David, you could tell she's so passionate about it. When we asked her about it, she just lit up on our call this week. And she says, not that I'm neglecting my own backyard, but sometimes the people are called to different things, and she really felt that this was her calling.
She loves to travel. She's passionate about giving back, and Certainly a terrific fit at CSU. They get it inside to Jones. She was denied by McDaniel. Raven Johnson the other way, pulls up and hits.
All right, Maddie McDaniel, the 5'9", the smallest player on the court right now, able to get that block there, and then that defense igniting the offense for Raven Johnson.
And that was 5'9" against 6'4". Nettles. Daniel sets it up. Here's Kitts. McDaniel kicks it out to Fulwiley. Off the mark. Another opportunity here for the Gamecocks. Ten seconds for Raven Johnson. 5 for Fulwiley. Kitts has to hurry, gets it up. Ashlyn Watkins is fouled on the putback attempt, and she'll head to the line.
The difference in this second quarter has been South Carolina's defense creating some easy buckets for them. Maddie McDaniel, Mighty Mouse with the big rejection. Leads to Raven Johnson and a nice transition bucket. The Bucs shooting only 14% in this second quarter compared to South Carolina's 50%. What a tale of two quarters.
Ashlyn Watkins is at the line looking to add to the Gamecocks lead. 57% free throw shooter. Gets the first. Coming off a nice game on Sunday against South Florida. 10 points, 8 rebounds, 4 blocks. And the lead is 7. Spin move from Nettles. The floater off the glass is no good. Here's Raven Johnson the other way. Up ahead to Edwards. That was deflected by Adamson. Looks like it was off the Gamecock. No, it'll stay with South Carolina.
If you know Raven Johnson, you know she likes to move the ball, push the ball up. She only knows one speed, and that's fast. And usually she has very accurate passing. That one just a little bit too much heat on it.
If you're on the floor with Raven Johnson, you're running, and she's going to find you in stride. Fulwiley doesn't get the bounce, but there's Watkins once again with the follow-up.
Watkins is just like a garbage collector down there, just cleaning up after each of her players misses, able to get those putbacks. Half her rebounds have really come from those second chance opportunities.
And she's got 6 points. Albin. Raven Johnson all over Catherine Albin. Muhammad, a deep three.
We saw her make one earlier today. She can do it.
Edwards runs the floor. Her layup attempt is short. Approaching 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. South Carolina leads 29-20. Nichols checked by Edwards. Now it's Bailey. Muhammad.
There it is.
Hits another one.
There it is, just a second three-pointer for the Bucs, and she made the first one.
In her second season at CSU after starting her career at the JUCO level. Watkins hands off to McDaniel. No room for McDaniel. Instead, it's Edwards inside, and one.
That one rolling the right way for Joyce Edwards as Maddie McDaniel was shaken up on the play.
McDaniel might have been hit in the eye there. There's another look at the three from Muhammad.
Both of her threes have been from a couple feet outside. I think that's NBA distance right there, pulling up. Maddie McDaniel's drawing that contact. She gets hit by $3 there, drawing in that. Joyce Edwards there to clean up, though. Ball rolls the right way for Edwards. Edwards, just a freshman, able to produce so much for this team already. She does lead the team in turnovers, though, as she's still trying to grow and develop her game.
With McDaniel and Edwards, outstanding freshmen. Future is certainly bright here in Columbia, as is the present. Bailey, a nice move. She cuts inside. Is bothered by Fulwiley. Fulwiley with the magic.
You don't even have words to describe her moves anymore, what she pulls out of her pocket. I know that we've talked to her before about where she gets these moves from, and she says sometimes she just looks up YouTube videos. And so we don't know where that one came from, but maybe some inspiration via YouTube.
She's just a highlight reel. Albin, a deep three.
Holy cow. They're not afraid to pull up. South Carolina's going to have to meet them out there now. Defensive adjustments, we'll see.
It's keeping CSU in this game. They trail 34-26. You have 3 for 8 from behind the arc, and all 3 tough makes, Amanda. Pow. Tries to respond for South Carolina. She's short.
This is why they call Mylasia Fulwiley a highlight reel right here, because you never know what she's going to do, but you always are looking forward to it. Great move in the air. Look at that hang time. Way outside. There's no logo there, but I'm going to say from the logo because that's what it felt like. Awesome finish from the Bucks to stay in this one.
Albin comes into today a 32% three-point shooter. Talked about her ability to fill it up. 20-point games against Mercer and North Dakota State. Here's the floater. That won't go, and that's how the first half will end. A competitive first half, Amanda. South Carolina leads Charleston Southern 34-26.
The shooting percentages have been the stories here in these first 2 quarters. The defense leading to offense, though, for South Carolina to have the edge at the break.
South Carolina shoots 45%, 40% from behind the arc. Charleston Southern shoots 28%, but 40% from behind the arc, and that's kept them in it. South Carolina leads CSU 34-26. It's halftime from Colonial Life Arena. Welcome back from Colonial Life Arena. South Carolina leads at Charleston Southern 34-26. Dave and Amanda back with you, and it was a slow start offensively for South Carolina, Amanda, but things picked up in the second quarter. Yeah,
well, South Carolina outscoring Charleston Southern 23-11 in that second quarter, and they started getting back to what they're good at, what their discipline is, which is something head coach Dawn Staley wanted them to do, is stay disciplined and not think about the holidays that are creeping up on them. They knocked down 2 threes after going cold from the perimeter in that first quarter, and they started winning the rebound battle. Their defense started producing offense, those easy transition buckets. They got back to the basics, and that's working for them. Oh, no holiday thoughts from CSU early on. We're going to take a look at some highlights from the first half, starting with the Buccaneers. It's been a balanced attack so far, Amanda. Yeah, in that first quarter, they were just driving by defenders, catching South Carolina off guard. Very fast-paced offense for the Bucks here. And then some deep threes from Muhammad. She had 2, a couple feet away from that three-point line. And then great ball movement inside the paint there as well, finding an open player for their best shot in the half court. South Carolina also doing some things. We talked about their second quarter push here, and that's because of the defense. Pow with the steal, going all the way down, pushing the ball, getting those easy transition buckets, and then a couple blocks. You got Ashlyn Swatkins in the corner there, blocking the three-pointer, and then Maddie McDaniel, one of the smallest players on the court, blocking a big shot there, giving Raven Johnson the easy bucket down low. And look at this beautiful shot from Mylasia Fulwiley. Had to show that one again because it's just so pretty. You know what South Carolina does after a defensive play? They capitalize in transition. Here's some stats from the first half. Yeah, like we said, that winning that rebounding battle is big for South Carolina. That's something that they should be doing. It's a mismatch down low for them. An assist. Charleston Southern doing a great job of moving that ball around, trying to find the best shot.
One reason why South Carolina is ahead as well, Amanda, free throw disparity. Just 2 free throw attempts for Charleston Southern. They're 1 for 2. South Carolina is 10 for 11 from the charity stripe.
That's the difference in that game right now. Those extra opportunities, the second chance points, giving Carolina the lead.
63 straight wins here inside CLA for the Gamecocks, looking to make it 64 today. That last loss in 2020 against NC State. We're underway here in the second half. Raven Johnson looks to push, gets it up ahead to Pow Pow. Her pass is picked off by Catherine Albin.
Right idea, but the Bucks were there. Anticipation. Great job, Charleston Southern.
Adamson. Now it's Nettles. And a tie-up and a jump ball called. South Carolina has the possession arrow.
Dawn Staley changing the starting lineup for the third quarter. Difference for the starting of the game. Ashton Watkins starting in the second half here instead of Chloe Kitts.
And talking about what she wanted to see today from her team, she said, I want to see our standard. We've been harping on playing to our standard, disciplined basketball, building to what works. Just wanting to play good basketball heading into conference play. Hoping to find that in the second half. That shot no good, and a rebound for Albin. CSU, Amanda, only had a day to prepare for this game. They played Tuesday night at South Carolina State, picked up the road win. Here they are battling with the second-ranked Gamecocks.
Yeah, they don't shy away from competition. They played a couple ranked opponents, SEC powerhouses, ACC powerhouses. They had UNC and LSU. They faced a gauntlet of a schedule so far.
We'll go the other way here.
Looks like a travel call, a little too many steps there for Jones.
Sinai Jones, who has a couple of fouls at 6'4", really important player for CSU. Coach White told us has to stay on the floor. She fouled out in those tough power conference games you mentioned a moment ago. Especially
for a game like today, where Jones is a big force down there that can match up with the Gamecocks. You can see South Carolina picking up right at that half court. They're on these shooters. They don't want any more of those deep threes in the second half.
It's an 8-point lead for the Gamecocks. Albin on the drive. She's denied by Raven Johnson.
South Carolina with 5 blocks so far today, and they've come from a multitude of different players. Raven Johnson here with this one, but Mylacia Fulwiley's picked up one. Ashlyn Watkins, we know she's going to have one about every game, and also Maddie McDaniel with one.
Raven's such a good defensive player. 17 steals in the NCAA tournament last season. The putback for Catherine Albin.
Albin with better position than Raven Johnson on that one for the rebound.
South Carolina lead is 6. Ten seconds for Pow Pow. She's checked by Nettles. Goes around the Watkins screen. Now it's Brehall from the wing. Johnson keeps it alive. They get inside to Fagan, who feeds Watkins.
That was so beautiful. The ball movement, that extra pass makes all the difference. South Carolina able to stay patient there for 2.
All their bigs, Watkins, Fagan, such excellent passers. Inside, it's Sinai Jones.
Jones putting it up and in over 2 defenders.
Jones, who leads the Bucks in field goal percentage, also rebounds, blocks this season. Didn't score on Tuesday, only took 1 shot at South Carolina State. And there's a steal for Albin. She motors up the floor.
Charleston Southern needing to take advantage of every one of those opportunities to stay in this one as they bring it within 4.
Incredibly fast. Coach White says the court is often too small for her. And with the ball, it's even smaller. They had to navigate her coming from high school where she could kind of just do whatever she wanted and get up the court faster than anybody. But now teaching her college game speed. It's not always one speed. There's Bree Hall from the corner.
Bree already hit one earlier in that first half, but she takes one dribble, takes a breath, drains it.
Travel called on Alvin for some of that ball movement from the Gamecocks.
Just amazing patience, getting that second chance opportunity to start with the rebound, and then in the paint, wide open backside, no help side defense there from Charleston Southern, but great anticipation from Catherine Albin.
Such a multi-dimensional scorer, can finish at the rim. Our defense has started to improve as well. And that's going to go against the Gamecocks.
Watkins trying to create some space, lifts that elbow up. They'll call that. Taking another look. Watkins doesn't shy away from physicality down there. You can, being a post player, but they'll call that.
First foul on Ashlyn Watkins. Alvin, checked by Raven Johnson. Nichols tried to feed Bailey. Shot clock will expire on CSU. Seen that happen a couple of times already today. South Carolina's defense is stifling, Amanda.
That's what they want. They want to force Charleston Southern into some uncomfortable situations where they're going to just throw the ball away, force some turnovers. The Bucks with 11 turnovers so far tonight. Carolina with 7.
South Carolina is only allowing, I should say, 59.7 points per game to opponents this season. Opponents are only shooting 36%. McDaniel for 3. Offensive rebound for Watkins. The putback is in and out. Adamson.
You like that shot, wide open, just in and out.
Fagan. Smooth baseline jumper.
We talked about her efficiency ahead of this ball game, and that's it right there. And it's not all from in the paint. She takes those long-range jump shots as well. Her shot's just so flawless.
She has 8 points. That's a team high, tied with Ashlyn Watkins. Ten seconds for Nettles. An open look for Bailey. And a rebound for Te-Hina Pow-Pow. They get it inside to Fagan, kicks it right back out to Pow-Pow.
That is textbook in and out play right there. Pass it into Fagan. Fagan doesn't even take a look at the bucket. Sees Pow-Pow wide open and knows that's the shot. Her first 3 of the day.
46% three-point shooter. Led the nation three-point percentage a season ago at 46.8. And she hits her first of the day today. The 3 from Te-Hina Pow-Pow. South Carolina with the lead over Charleston Southern.
Having depth is every coach's dream, but it can also be a challenge, and that's a balance that Gamecocks head coach Dawn Staley has had to find this season. While the Gamecocks have 10 different players averaging at least 15 minutes per game, Staley said that depending on who has the hot hand, what earns you more minutes one night may not be the same in the next game, and that's a concept that some players will struggle with at times throughout the season. Earlier this year, Chloe Kitts saw her minutes decrease around Thanksgiving, and this led to her believing that Coach Staley had lost faith in her as a player. When the reality of it was that Kitts and her fellow starters for the Gamecocks were doing such a great job of building up strong leads in games that Coach Staley was working in younger players to get them valuable minutes that'll help add to this team's depth as the season goes on. Not to mention that, of course, every player wants to be on the court as much as they can, but Staley said if someone has got it going on, more times than not, they're going to play until, well, as she put it, until the cows come home. Guys?
Thanks, Cade. It's a talented bench, of course, for South Carolina. The bench leads the nation with 39.7 points per game. Counts for over 49% of their total offense. But Amanda, sometimes these players, they might not understand the lack of minutes. It has to be explained to them that it's not necessarily because you're playing bad. Even the starters that are sharing minutes with the bench, it's because, sometimes someone is just playing well, and that leads to less minutes for others.
Yeah, Coach talking about how she had a conversation with Bree Hall about it, too, where Bree was kind of doing 15 minutes, but it's a lean 15 minutes. It's 15 minutes where you're putting up good points, putting up good numbers, moving the score forward. So not a terrible problem to have when you have so many great players.
Edwards draws contact, and she'll head to the line. But before she does, we have immediate timeout with 2:44 left to go in the third. South Carolina leads Charleston Southern 44-32. Maddie McDaniel averages 5 points and 3 assists so far this season. And today, so far, Amanda, she has 5 points and 3 assists, and here they are.
Yeah, her vision on the court is exceptional, and also just her passing abilities, right on target, right on cue. Even in motion like that, she can go 100 miles per hour but still stop, give an accurate pass there, finding her shooters, giving other players opportunities. That's what makes a great point guard.
And she leads the nation in assist-to-turnover ratio. She has 27 assists to just 4 turnovers coming into today. That's an absurd 6.75-to-1 ratio. Next best is Kayla Ivey at Boston College, 4.5-to-1. So it's a significant margin between first and second.
And to have that level of efficiency as a freshman coming into your first year in the SEC, head coach Dawn Staley gives her all the praise and really is excited about her difference from Raven Johnson, having 2 different types of point guards that can come in there and mix things up.
We saw Spencer on that list as well for Tennessee. The Gamecocks will be at Tennessee January 27th. They'll be on ESPN2, and they'll get a good look at Spencer.
The SEC looking pretty scary this season. Super exciting, though.
So deep, both for the men and the women. Muhammad kicks it out. Speedy Albin gets inside. And what a finish. She's fired up.
Great ball movement, awareness of her body as she kind of warps around the defenders.
Albin's in double digits once again. She has 11. There she is with the steal. Catherine Albin will head to the line.
Coach White saying great things about Albin as well, saying that, we talked about her speed a lot, and you could see her speed on display here, able to anticipate that pass transition and put up that layup there. Beautiful finesse. Taking another look. Little pump fake, drive. Once she drops that shoulder, she's gone. Hard to keep up with her. Coach says that the game has really slowed down for her, yet she's so speedy, but the game has slowed down for her. She's able to make smarter decisions.
Well, she's someone who wants to play pro, treats every day like she's a pro. Ton of extra shots up, takes care of her body. They've got a 3.5 this semester, and Coach White is extremely proud of Catherine Albin. It's a 10-point game. 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Pow. Now McDaniel on the drive. Up and under. She draws the foul.
Taking the ball around the world before it tries to find the rim there, but she'll draw the foul and head to the line. South Carolina doing a great job of getting to the free throw line by doing this. Not afraid of contact there. You can see it on her face, though. Trying to navigate the paint. South Carolina now with 12 free throws for points today. See if Maddie McDaniel can add on a couple more.
12 for 13 from the line. McDaniel little bit of a late start to the season, made her debut against Coppin State. She had surgery to remove scar tissue in her knee in early October. This is the number 12 overall recruit in the class of 2024. It's the second. As you mentioned earlier, Amanda, just a little bit of a different look from Raven Johnson, but it's great for Coach Staley to have that versatility in her point guard play. Edwards fighting for the ball. She comes up with it. And it's Pow Pow the other way for South Carolina. Te-Hina Pow Pow and one.
Pow Pow has been pretty silent this game. No big drain threes besides that one, but she's been doing things defensively that keeps her on this court. Dawn Staley loving it. She pushes the ball forward. 1-on-2, no problem. Stays composed, finishes at the rim.
Finishes the three-point play. Preseason first team all SEC selection. Second team last year. An all conference selection every season in her career that started at West Oregon. Nettles comes up limping a bit. Ahead of the pack, it's Johnson.
Johnson with her first points of the day, her first points in a couple days as she was scoreless against USF. Scoreless from the field, I should say.
Watkins defensively for South Carolina. Watkins feeds Edwards. Edwards, another opportunity.
Joyce Edwards, such a motivated player. You can tell she wants it. She wants to develop. She wants to get better. And there she is following her own shot for the putback.
Largest lead for the Gamecocks, 54-36. Adamson unable to hit the three, and that's how the third quarter will end. A solid third quarter for South Carolina. Three-time national champions, 2017, 2022, 2024. There's room up there for 2025, Amanda, and here's the Dawn Staley effect.
Just a little imbalance there. Just there's a little difference when she came and took over this program, and it wasn't immediately. It did take some building, and Coach for Charleston Southern, Coach White, saying that she did look at Dawn Staley's first couple of seasons to see how quickly. She's like, hey, I want to compare myself a little bit. How quickly does Dawn Staley get things going? And it did take her a couple years, because the SEC is no cakewalk, but here's what she's been able to do with the so-called dynasty, a lot of the Gamecock fans like to call it.
Yeah, Coach White really looks up to Dawn Staley. Told us that she's phenomenal. Love how she utilizes her platform. She said, I admire her, I look up to her. The way she's navigated the program and built it. And it's amazing to see the influx of players that want to be around Coach Staley. Her expertise, her energy, her wisdom. And Coach White said she just empowers people and inspires them. It's so awesome, and we get to be just down the road from it. Yeah,
it's really cool. And it's also cool, Coach White has a podcast. She created a podcast as a way to use her platform as well. So Coach is being able to find things to do off the court as well.
A steady increase in wins here at South Carolina. Coach White going to do the same. Charleston Southern. Good-looking basket from Kaylin Ellis, redshirt sophomore guard out of Powder Springs, Georgia. Her offense has been coming on of late. Played the first 4 games of the season, didn't score, missed the next 5 games. She returns early December against College of Charleston with 6 points, started and 10 points against Furman. And then season high 12 on Tuesday against South Carolina State.
Yeah, that was her first career start against Furman, and then had that game high for the team. And she was supposed to be a part of the rotation last season, but had a shoulder injury, so they weren't able to do what they wanted to do, as Mylasia Fulwiley puts in 2.
And she's got 4. Hey, look at the way Charleston Southern has played today. You can see why they're preseason in the top 3 of the Big South Conference. Home run pass, trying to get it to Fulwiley. It's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with South Carolina.
No doubt the South Carolina team likes to push the ball, but we've seen a couple of those long passes a little too deep coming from the freshman Joyce Edwards.
Johnson for 3. Gets her own rebound. Edwards inside, one-on-one. Converts.
She had a team high last time out against USF, and here she is putting work down there in the paint. She gets great position, great physicality from the freshman.
And she has a team high again so far today. She has 11. And a steal for Raven Johnson. Can't finish off the glass. Ellis the other way for CSU.
Gets another chance here.
And the layup for Raven Johnson.
This time a little jump stop. Collect her thoughts. She's shaking her head, smiling.
Two-time Miss Georgia basketball. Second team All-SEC selection a year ago, Raven Johnson. Nichols. Muhammad was denied by Watkins. A whistle that'll go against CSU.
Watkins picks up her 3rd block of the day. She's been just suffocating people down here in the paint. Too many white jerseys for the Bucks here, and Ashlyn Watkins with that wingspan. All ball there.
Think about how good an athlete Ashlyn Watkins is, the first South Carolina player to dunk. That was in her freshman year against Clemson. First to dunk at CLA last January against Kentucky, and then just dunked again against TCU recently.
Just an incredible way to really just set a new standard for the women's game as it continues to grow. More eyeballs around the game. People are realizing, hey, these women can play an elite kind of basketball, and Ashlyn Watkins helping to embrace that.
Edwards with the steal for South Carolina. Fulwiley finds Johnson. That was short. Oh, too close to the rim there.
Fulwiley frustrated too, knowing that she wanted to give her teammate an opportunity to score. South Carolina had a season high in their layup percentage last time out against USF, and those easy bunnies make all the difference when it's a close game.
5 seconds for Muhammad. No space from Johnson, so instead it's Adamson. And a shot clock violation.
South Carolina forcing a couple of those out of the Bucks. Great defense, great pressure, picking up at half court here.
Bailey exits for CSU. Gamecocks lead 62-38. Fulwiley makes her move. Jones corrals it for the Bucks. This is Albin. Well, we have a timeout on the floor with 5:58 left to go. South Carolina leads Charleston Southern 62-38. Well, we We'd like to congratulate a couple of seniors, Te-Hina Pow and Bree Hall. Amanda, they recently graduated.
Spurs up with degrees there. Pow graduating with a bachelor's in sociology. Bree with one in sport and entertainment management. You always forget they're student athletes. They don't just do basketball full time. They get those degrees. They've got lots of other things on their minds as well. Shout out to them. Big life achievement there.
They get degrees, they get championships. 8 points today for Te-Hina Pow, 7 for Bree Hall.
Bree not camera shy there. Get a squad photo. So much character. You could tell these women have such high chemistry. Get along really well. Having fun before the holidays here.
It's a very connected group. They all like each other, like spending time with each other. Coach Staley mentioned, she sits back and watches that, loves the dynamic, and then opening up to each other. It's a coach's dream.
And it's different for her because, each team brings different challenges, and she's said she's been really adjusting to how fun they are and how energetic they are and how loose they play. Because when she had the freshies a couple years ago, they were really locked in on the mission. But these players, they love basketball and they love to win, but they also love to have fun.
Edwards, double team, she kicks it out. Johnson for 3. Got it.
That's been a big storyline for Raven Johnson, getting respected behind the arc there, and there she goes, earning that respect. See a defender step up on her now for the rest of this game.
Her first 3 of the day. She has 9 points. Ellis gives it a try. Shot no good, and a rebound for Ashlyn Watkins. Fulwiley. Tough shot, draws contact, and she'll head to the line.
Now Johnson's really stepped up her game in the last 3 outings as well, averaging 6.3 points and 46.7% shooting, handing out a little over 4 assists per game. And prior to the last 3 games, it was just 3.5 points per game on 21.6% shooting. So she stepped up in almost every aspect of her game the last couple times out.
Fulwiley hits the first. Now, you're right, Amanda, about Raven. Her first 5 games this season, she was 0 for 13 from 3. But in the last 6 games, 9 for 21 coming into today. So really heating up. Joyce Edwards continues to assert herself.
Joyce Edwards will always be where you see those hustle plays, those free balls, those loose balls.
In the corner, that's Ellis. A rebound for Raven Johnson, who looks to push. Johnson feeds Edwards, and 1.
The bench going crazy for the freshman Joyce Edwards with another team high, 15 points right now. In her 17 minutes of play, 5 of 8 from the field. She's been everywhere on this court. Defense, offense, running up and down the floor, and she's a post player. She's a big. She's athletic, though. Make that 17 points. Make that 18 points. One of the biggest storylines headed into the season was the loss of Camila Cardoso to the WNBA draft and what post players they're going to look towards. And they're learning that it's going to be by committee, and Joyce Edwards is a part of that committee.
Another opportunity up ahead for Tessa Johnson.
South Carolina with 23 fast break points in this ball game. Those have been the game changers so far.
They lead 73-38. It was a close game in the first half. That foul's going to go against Ashlyn Watkins. Free throws coming for Madison Adamson.
Watkins picks up her second foul.
Maddie McDaniel checks back in. She replaces Raven Johnson, who gets a nice hand from the crowd here inside CLA. Madison Adamson to the free throw line. The first player that Coach White brought into the program. Coach and Maddie go way back. She recruited her sister while at Alabama. Maddie was at Air Force Prep Academy. Through circumstances, she was open to recruitment again. Coach White said, oh my gosh, I have the opportunity to get her. She's such a great player, gifted, intrinsic leader. They lean into her as a person. Does a lot of those little things that don't show up on the stat sheet.
Well, that's why she's a captain. She's a vocal leader as well as a leader by her actions.
And she's been here through this entire rebuild for CSU. Joyce Edwards will head to the line. Muhammad checks out. Nichols back in for the Bucks. Joyce Edwards is already past her season high, looking for her first collegiate 20-point game. She hits the second free throw. She does so.
And when you talk to her post-game with other players, she just gives credit to everybody and saying that I just really put my trust into my teammates, and that's exactly what we're seeing here is a group effect of her getting opportunities from her teammates because they believe in her to score.
Donald's All-American, played for the USA basketball women's under-18 national team. Almost the and one for Catherine Albin, but she'll head to the line for two. You picked the right player to watch, Amanda, for Charleston Southern. Catherine Albin with 13 points. No other Buck in double digits.
We talked about her consistent growth over the past couple of years. You know, the conference really recognizing her as a freshman, and then her on that second team Big South in her sophomore season, and now this year she's preseason first team All Big South. They expect her to do some great things in conference play.
She spoils Chick-fil-A here inside CLA. Add that to the stat sheet. Gamecocks lead 75-42 as we approach 3 minutes remaining.
Charleston Southern trying to snap a over 6-minute scoring drought right now.
Deflected out of bounds by Tessa Johnson. Coach White still love what she saw from her team, especially in this first half today. Showing the ability to compete with the #2 team in the country, and that should certainly bode well for Big South play. A deep three from Ellis. Offensive rebound for Nichols. Here's Adamson.
Yeah, and Coach White talked about, you know, they don't shy away from competition, playing those big teams like UNC here. Tessa Johnson with the lay-in. But they don't shy away from big games like that. LSU, UNC, she said, because it's a one big lead. So if they go to the tournament, they're going to face a team of that caliber, and they want to be ready for that.
This game will certainly help them do just that. An offensive foul on Catherine Albin. First 20-point performance in the college career of Joyce Edwards, Amanda.
This is no surprise. We slowly see her getting a feel for that SEC play, that collegiate play, coming from Camden High School, a local product. Able to just do damage in the paint, running up and down the floor. Fulwiley, nothing but net there.
The lead has ballooned to 35. Fulwiley will pick up the foul. I believe that's just her first. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for South Carolina. After Christmas break, they'll have one more non-conference matchup with the Wofford Terriers, and then Amanda, SEC play begins.
Yeah, they open it up on the road, back-to-back road games for SEC play. And the biggest thing Dawn Staley wanted to prioritize for today and heading into the holiday break is to be able to build on each game so that they're ready for SEC play.
Adamson hits the tough shot.
Adamson with 9 so far today. Oh, wow.
Daniel feeds Fagan. Oh, pretty pass from Maddie McDaniel.
We talked about her ability to facilitate in this offense, and you just have to be ready, always ready if she has the ball, and Miriam Dauda ready for that.
I'll check that. My apologies. It was Dauda, not Fagan. 30, not 20. Ellis keeps it in play. Adamson for three. She runs into traffic. Tied up. That'll be South Carolina basketball.
South Carolina flexing its depth today. 49 bench points compared to Charleston Southern's 11. That bench is deep and talented. Ooh, she can hit those. She can hit those.
A rebound for Adamson on the Fulwiley miss. Up ahead finds Nichols. Tough angle. And a foul that will go against CSU, and Taylor Caldwell picks up her first. We'll put Tessa Johnson at the line. First free throw attempt of the day. 80% so far this season. This is the first. Minnesota Gatorade Player of the Year back in 2023. 2,000-point scorer in high school.
The future is bright, no doubt, here at South Carolina.
Nichols loses it out of bounds. South Carolina will be able to dribble out the clock here. It will go in the books as an 82-46 win for the Gamecocks, to improve to 12-1 overall. Charleston Southern picks up their 9th loss of the season and 64 straight wins now at home, Amanda, for South Carolina.
Great job by South Carolina to really settle in. That first quarter, they shot 14%, and they finished the game shooting 46%. Big showing by the bench. They got 50 points tonight. Just insane depth from South Carolina to come up with the win.
And 20 of those from the freshman Joyce Edwards.
She's going to be a pivotal person for them when it comes to SEC play. As we talked about, no Camila Cardoso. They're going to need big post players to rely on, and the freshman proving herself early in her first year.
So Joyce Edwards leads the way for South Carolina with 20 points, the only Gamecock in double figures. Catherine Albin, the only Buck in double figures. She had 14 for CSU. Christmas break, and then both teams will resume their schedule on December 29th. For South Carolina, it'll be against Wofford, and for CSU, it'll be against Gardner-Webb. From Mandapool, Kate Crenshaw, and the rest of our crew, I'm Dave Weinstein saying so long from Columbia. South Carolina defeats Charleston Southern 82-46.